What can you accomplish in just a few short days in a major city? Today, we're up out of the house and headed to the airport to find out. Where are we headed? Boston, Massachusetts, a city where history and modern day walk side by side down cobblestone streets. There's a lot to see and do in Boston, so we wasted no time. Once landing at Logan International Airport, we hopped on a shuttle to the nearest T station and hit the ground running. First stop was dropping our bags at the hotel we'd be calling home for the next few days, and then it was off to Quincy Market to grab a bite to eat. This is a popular stop for tourists and day trippers, so be ready for an overwhelming environment. Regardless, the location and variety makes it an ideal stop.
Next stop, North Station.
One of the many things Boston is known for is science and technology, so the Museum of Science seemed like an obvious choice to escape the rain for a few hours while we waited for our room. Featuring a number of exhibits, including those focusing on technologies that Boston is known for, like AI and robotics, the museum is not only interesting, but also fun with a number of interactive exhibits.
I'm gonna be honest with you, I am notoriously bad.
Are you?
At these. Do you want to give it a guess?
I'm gonna give it a guess.
All right. How many do you think is in each? I will tell you that right here, I gave that little plushie, exactly that plushie, to Russ. Oh my goodness, more than 20 years ago now. How many stuffed animals do you think? I'm going with 400.
Good afternoon, everyone. How are y'all doing today?
The highlight of this visit was Lightning, a show centered around electricity, which I've loved for years. And yes, it still holds up. All right, so we finally got into the hotel. It has been like nonstop since 4 o'clock this morning.
12 hours ago.
Yeah. Check-in time for this hotel, we're staying at the Harborside Inn, which is like so conveniently located in the middle of everything right here in like the heart of Boston. Check-in is at 3, so we obviously arrived way too early for check-in, but they do take your bags for you. They're willing to hold your bags for you. So we just came here, let them know that we were going to be here. They were so helpful at the front desk. It really stood out to me that they were like, the bathroom's over here, we'll hold your bags for you, come check back at noon because that's when rooms start to open up. It was just a very positive experience.
Yeah, straightforward and easy.
Yeah, and then later when we came back around 3 o'clock, check-in, easy, made our way into our room, and here we are. I have to say, this is a great hotel so far.
So far.
I mean, just the room itself is so big, and especially at such an affordable price point, it's hard to complain. We have a refrigerator, we have a safe, we have all the space we could need.
And then some.
Yeah, and
It's
the
even bigger than we
location
need.
is just fantastic.
Yeah, location's perfect. It's literally walking distance to everything.
Yeah.
So it's a great jumping off point for experiencing the city.
Speaking of experiencing the city, we have to decide on what exactly we're going to do for dinner. It's been such a long day up until this point, and it is so cold and rainy here. It is something else. Probably keep it kind of low key tonight, grab something quick, rest up tonight. And,
I'm exhausted. I'm ready to get some sleep.
I know, me too. But yeah, so I guess we'll check in with you guys soon.
Catch you on the flip side.
Catch you on the flip side. Well, it's day 2. Last night, we thought we might make our way over to Quincy Market to get some dinner.
Yeah, or anywhere really, because I was looking at a bunch of places. They all look delicious.
And we opted not to. We opted to actually just go downstairs and grab something from the 7-Eleven, which I know what some of you are thinking, with all the delicious food here in Boston, why? You're exhausted?
Yeah, I just wanted something light, easy, and I just wanted to be in and out, and honestly, I just wanted to get to bed.
Yeah, same.
And then we recharged this morning with a wonderful Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah, I mean, you can't be in Massachusetts and not indulge in some Dunkin'. Now, once breakfast was out of the way, we headed over to the Golden Goose. This is a little grocery store. They had a great selection. Prices were very reasonable, similar to what we get back home.
Yeah.
We picked up some essentials like yogurt, some fruit, and now we're getting ready to head out on an adventure. There's a lot of things to do here in Boston, of course, but since this is such a historic place, there's no getting around doing something historic. And we figured today, why not do the Freedom Trail? Are you guys ready to head out?
Of course they are. They're always ready to head
All right,
out.
let's go. The Freedom Trail is a 2.5-mile walking path that leads through Boston, taking you past 16 significant historical sites related to the American Revolution and early U.S. history. It starts at Boston Common and winds you through the city past locations like Faneuil Hall, Paul Revere's house, and graveyards where the Founding Fathers are laid to rest. Following the trail is simple. You just keep an eye out for the red brick path and stick to it. Doing this will lead you to each of the historic sites along the way, and signs posted will tell you everything you might want to know. The trail is free, though there are some sites that require admission, but if having a tour guide is more your speed, you can opt for that too. We opted to take the trail at our own pace, and we're glad we did because it allowed us to wander and linger in places that we might have otherwise breezed past. Commonwealth Books was one of those places. I could have been here all day hunting for treasures, but we were on a tight schedule and had a limited amount of space in our luggage, so we moved on. Now, if you're thinking about doing the Freedom Trail, one thing you really need to keep in mind is that you'll be wandering through a busy city and should be prepared for what that means. Be ready to walk along busy streets in narrow, uneven pathways over poorly maintained brick and cobblestone paths, and, of course, in some scenarios that might be a bit too questionable for some to truly be comfortable with this experience. It also means a lot of walking. The path is not a loop, and while you can catch the T back to your starting point of choice, you will have to double back a bit. We ended up clocking about 10 miles this day. Another day here in Boston. This is officially day 3.
Woke up to ice this morning.
Yes. So we've been just hanging in, gearing up for our day, kind of organizing our stuff so that we can make our way out tomorrow. But today, sounds of the city, man. Today, we do have some plans to go wandering around, kind of enjoying the shops. We want to head over to Newbury Comics.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
So we're going to go check that out.
Yeah.
And then, tonight, Sox game.
Sox game. But we need to talk about one thing, though. We are finally getting a chance to try a very, very high score on the pizza scale on the One Bite app.
Yes.
9.1. I love this pizza.
Very excited to try it.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm also looking forward to eating something that I'm looking forward to, which has been kind of an interesting discussion we've been having over the past, well, since
The whole
last
trip.
night, but also the whole trip.
Yeah.
We'll have to talk a little bit more about this later when we've kind of gathered our thoughts, but Boston is really interesting. There's a lot of different places to eat, but there's not as much variety as you would think. And
There is, but there isn't.
yeah, it's such a unique situation. It's also not even as big a selection as it was in past visits that I've made, because I spent a lot of time in Boston. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in the future. But anyway, so I'm looking forward to this pizza. There's another thing that I want to try today, and that is a cannoli, because goodness knows everyone is talking about the cannolis here in Boston. I've never had one.
I'm not a cannoli person, but I'm excited to try
I like
one.
cannolis, but I've never had one here. I know that there's like a whole Italian thing here in Boston. There's always been, as far as I can
Oh,
remember.
yeah. And it's a beautiful part of town.
Yeah, but
I love it.
as long as I've lived in Massachusetts and through all the trips that I've made to Boston, cannolis have never been.
Never
I've
made
ever,
your list.
No, it never made my list, and it was
Yeah.
never something necessarily notable. But that's also part of having the internet today, right? Certain things that you might not have been thinking about before become a thing. So we're gonna check that one off the list today. Give it a go,
Yeah.
hopefully, and see what else we can get ourselves into.
But
So you ready to go?
let's do it.
All right, let's head out. The North End boasts a rich history as the city's oldest residential area, evolving from Puritan roots into a vibrant Italian immigrant community. It's now a popular tourist destination where you'll find, among other things, fantastic food. Our first order of business was Regina Pizzeria, which turned out to be the highlight of our trip. Not only was the food fantastic, but the spot itself just felt like a version of home we haven't experienced in decades. From there, we made our way to a couple bakeries that we'd passed earlier in the day. to see what the cannoli hype was all about. We could have stopped at so many different places, but settled on Bova's and, of course, the very popular and much talked about Mike's. Having grabbed a few things from each spot, we made our way back toward the hotel, along the way stopping at a great little park area that had tables and chairs so we could enjoy a few bites of what we picked up. With some food in our bellies and a few more layers to keep us from freezing once the sun went down, it was time to go to Fenway for a Sox game. Fenway might be the home of the Red Sox, but just like everything else in the city, it's steeped in history. The first game was played here exactly 113 years ago to the date of our visit, and it's been an icon ever since. A visit to Fenway isn't unlike a visit to any other MLB stadium in the country in that it offers a variety of food and drinks that exceed Fenway Frank's peanuts and beer, but don't let that fool you into thinking that this is just a ballpark. The historical significance of the park is highlighted throughout Fenway, making it feel much more like a museum than a ballpark alone. This, at least in my opinion, makes it a spot worth checking out, particularly if American history and culture is something you're interested in, even if the current game isn't. The end of the game marked the end of our trip, and that had me wondering about the question we started off with. How much can you accomplish in a major city in just a few days? Even with the rain, unseasonably cold weather, and gale force winds, we still managed to accomplish quite a bit during our Boston trip. But I'd be lying if I didn't say that we barely even scratched the surface. We could have been here for weeks, combing through the streets and narrow alleyways, looking for placards highlighting important moments that risk being forgotten amongst the hustle and bustle of the city. Had the weather been better, we could have spent hours lounging on benches and green spaces peppered throughout the city, the shows, the museums, the historic sites. We probably missed more than we actually saw. That's part of the charm when it comes to cities like this though, and for me, it's part of the adventure. There's no way you can truly see all that a place like Boston has to offer in just a few days, but it's certainly fun to try. Will it be perfect? Probably not. But travel rarely is. It's about small triumphs of finally doing something for the first time or witnessing history in the making. Those are the moments that make places like Boston special.